Hello, my name is Vinita Pandey, and today I will talk to you about a very hot topic in Nadi astrology. Nadi palm leaves are ancient oracles of India, which were written by sages thousands of years ago on palm leaves. And the basis of these oracle predictions about individuals was karma and solutions for our karma. So let me give you an overview of what these remedies mean and give you a little deeper understanding, a better understanding, because a lot of people have a lot of questions and doubts and also do not want to do their remedies. But I would like to talk about this topic because I feel it's very important. So, when we have a Nadi reading from a reader, it goes generally year by year, and it will give you certain milestones for each age, and it will say certain issues that would come up. For example, there might be a health issue, a financial issue, a relationship issue. And for some of these issues, uh, the um, the rishis and Shiva have given certain remedies or solutions. Uh, and then, it goes on and tells you later in the Nadi reading what these remedies are. So these remedies can be of several types. Some of them are sacred rituals that you can do on your own, meditations that you can do, donations that you can do, going to certain temples. They can also be these pujas or sacred rituals that have to be done by Nadi pandits because they're very specific in its procedure. So only certain pandits can do it because they know how to do it. So that is a general overview of these remedies. Now, these Nadi pandits will typically charge about 100 rupees a day. And you'd be prescribed a certain mantra, and then the pandits know what to do. They will recite that mantra for that many times. For example, if it's a Kartikeya mantra, it's chanting this Kartikeya mantra for 108 times, 108 times, and it has to be done for, say, 144 days. So the cost would be 14,400 rupees. So that's just an example. Um, and so these pundits will generally do some of these remedies for you. The other type of remedy there can be is a havan or a yajna, which is a sacred fire ritual that they will do. And the Nadi will prescribe exactly what type of havan has to be done. So these remedies fall into two categories. One is for your past life karma, and sometimes you can do these remedies yourself. Like, for example, um, lighting a diya every Monday at a Shiv temple, or going to a Devi temple on Tuesdays for 5 weeks, or chanting a mantra 9 times, a Guru mantra 9 times on a Thursday. In addition to that, for your past life karma, they might tell you to do certain donations for widows, for handicapped people, or for children, and so on. So, or they can mention a havan that needs to be done to balance the negative energy from that past life karma with the positive energy that's generated by doing this havan, by chanting these mantras and doing this sacred fire ritual. The second category is for the factors that are affecting you in this life. Now, there are three main factors that can influence or have a negative impact on in this life. One is our planetary combinations, according to Jyotish astrology. This is, you know, bad combinations or placements in our birth chart or transits that are happening right now. It's planetary effects. Second is ancestral baggage or ancestral karma that we have adopted. And this is called Pitradosh. The third type is other people's negative energies. So if anybody is casting an evil eye, like we say, or jealousy, or has some animosity or vengeance towards us, or any sort of negative energy that's directed towards us, or sometimes people even do black magic type of things against us. So these are the three broad categories that are affecting our current life. And for this, typically there is this mantra chanting which is prescribed to be done by Nadi pandits, and that is where this excess amount of expenditure comes in. You know, a Nadi reading can cost 500 rupees, which is approximately $60, but these remedies can go into hundreds of dollars, which is, you know, say 14,400 rupees and up, right? Depending on how many days are prescribed, how many, like if it's morning and evening, the cost can go up. So why don't people do it, and why I feel that people should do it? Um, so I feel that if you look at the amount of pain and suffering that we have to go through for the rest of our lives, spending a few $100s, a few thousand rupees is really, there is no comparison. If I can spend a few hundred rupees, a few $100s, or if you can, even if it's say 30,000 rupees or whatever it comes to, if you look at it long term, it's really not that much, right? And that's, and sometimes we spend that much on other things. But apart from that, a lot of people do not have faith that these pundits will actually do these remedies, because there's a lot of people that are fake, or they fool you, they take your money, and then they don't do the remedies. um, so what I want to say is that there was a reading that somebody did, one of my friends did, and in the Prashnakand, they asked this question of the rishis, and they said, well, if these rituals will remove or reduce our karma, what happens when these pundits take our money and they don't even do the pujas and they just fool us? So the rishis said that you are responsible for your karma. What they do or don't do, they are responsible for it. So the moment you decide with faith and reverence that, yes, I believe in this, I have faith, and I will therefore give them this money to the Pandit, and what he does with it is his karma. I want to follow what the rishis and Shiva have prescribed for me, because I want my karma reduced. So you make that intention, you make that sankalp. And the rishis said, if they don't do the pujas, or they don't do it correctly, or whatever they do, it is them who will bear the results of this. So, like an example, supposing you have a huge loan payment, and like a 30-year loan or whatever. Now, if you make a loan payment and the clerk does not reduce your loan balance and pockets that money himself, for example, ultimately, you will be given credit when, even if you have to go to court, or if there is some sort of adjustment, or something as investigation is happens, and they find out that this clerk actually pocketed your money, you will be given credit and your loan will finally go down. So you can think of it that the supreme is the judge or the investigator, or final uh, final authority, and your loan will be reduced. Your karmic loan will be reduced. And whoever pockets their money will go to jail or bear a fine or whatever it is. So I want to assure you that this did come in the Nadi, and the rishis and Shiva did assure the seekers that, yes, we know about this, but you do your part. The moment you make the payment to the pundits, believe me, you are given credit. After 144 days, you will see some changes in your life and along the way, as I have experienced this. So um, these the results that I have seen myself in my life, in my family's lives from doing these remedies are significant. Not just that, I have also collected case studies of other people where, a life-threatening situation was mentioned, and they said, look, if you do these remedies, this event will happen, but it will pass by relatively smoothly. So let me give you a couple of very quick examples. In my case, there was a surgery that was mentioned, okay, a few years from now, and also certain other things that I'm going through presently. But it said that if you do these remedies, this will reduce from a surgery to something that will pass by very quickly. And it did. I did have some problems, some health issues, and I'm still going through certain health issues, but it has significantly reduced because of the remedies. Now, I don't know what would have happened if I didn't do the remedies, but I know that the Naadi did mention that this would happen, and it did happen. It happened exactly as it was mentioned. The same issue happened, like, there was a nerve issue or whatever, like sciatica or something, but it was not debilitating. I did not get immobilized. So the event did happen, the milestone did happen, but the issue was reduced by a great deal. Now, I have also had people where, for example, their son has, there was predicted there would be a life threatening situation for their son. And after doing the remedies, the I suggested to this mother that why don't you have another reading for your son, because the timeline changes. Once you do your remedy, your timeline has changed. So the original remedy would say that this is your potential, right? Potential of something good or bad happening. And then it says, but if you do this remedy, it will reduce or remove. Now, after the remedies were done, when the mother went back and had a second Nadi reading for her son, that issue was much more smoothened out. Sometimes I've seen the entire issue completely removed. So, what I'm trying to say is that I can go on and on and on, but there's so many cases I know. But what I'm trying to say is that these issues would be reduced or removed once you do the remedy. Sometimes what happens is that supposing there are some negative entities or bad energies that are affecting a person, and there are other people who are jealous, sometimes solutions will come to you. So, like, you might have a friend tell you about a spiritual remedy that would reduce entities, or just the mantras itself will give you protection, right? But I'm telling you that if certain health issue is there, you might find a doctor or a medicine. So because you've done the remedies, certain solutions will present themselves to you. Like if you're having financial issues, then maybe somebody comes in to become a partner and invest in your business. If you're going through financial trouble, if you're trying to sell a property, you might find a buyer. So certain solutions will come, and I have seen this happen. So that is why I'm saying that I have actually seen the results of this happening. The other thing is that you need to understand, and I asked this in the Prashnakand, and for explaining this to other people, and Shiva's response to me was that yes, remedies can reduce karma, but there are certain karma that you have to go through. They cannot be reduced or removed through remedies. So a lot of people have this theoretical understanding of karma, but karma cannot be understood. It's far beyond our capacity to understand how karma works. But this is Shiva himself telling me through the Nadi that so for example, in my case, it said that, your physical problems can be reduced to a great deal, but you still have to go through certain pain and discomfort and problems, right? So certain karma can be reduced through remedies. It's a fact that came in minority, but certain karma cannot be reduced. So if you go through a nadi reading, there'll be certain problems against which no remedies are given, and Shiva or the rishis will say, this problem will happen, but don't worry, you have our grace, you'll go through it, but no remedy will be mentioned. Okay, so I want you to have this understanding from the message that I was given, that certain karmas through grace, through this Nadi reading, not that you just go out and do these remedies on your own, nothing will happen, but it is through a Nadi reading that grace descends, that blessings descend, because now a connection has been made. So when you do these remedies, there is certain grace that will descend on you. And also, you should remember that this was not done for us to feel fearful, right? It's not these Nadi readings, when they tell you a problem, it is telling you a problem with a solution. It is not meant, the basis of these Nadi readings is not to make you fearful. Well, if you don't do your remedies, you're going to go through hell of a life. No, that is your fear. That fear was not placed there by Shiva or the rishis or Parvati. See, we have committed certain karma over our lifetimes, and Parvati Mataji has asked and requested Shiva that, because of the heavy burden of my children's karma from what we have done, I would like to offer them some remedies and solutions, because now they're advancing towards their own enlightenment. They are dharmic, they are righteous children, they are good hearted, well meaning children. So, why don't you recommend some remedies to reduce their karma in order for their progress towards liberation, which is moksha, to be um, fastened, to make it easier to remove the obstacles in the way, in us reaching our final goal and purpose of life. So this is not to instill fear in us. If you do have fear, just reflect and see, is this coming from myself? Because the basis of all Vedic teachings and the Vedic methodology is to present a problem, the root cause, and the solution, just like we do at work. Like we have root cause analysis, I used to do in my job, is you present the problem statement, you do your findings as to what the root cause was, and then you also present solutions. Vedic methodology will never present a problem without a solution. So I wanted to bring this to you so that you have a clearer understanding and not supersede um, your own ideas or opinions or uh, understanding, which might be lacking on this. So the other thing is, yes, a lot of people think that the Nadi Pandits are greedy and they are charging a lot of money. Yes. And if you can do whatever remedies you can do on your own, that's well and good. But the Nadi Pandits, at one time I decided, these Nadi Pandits are very greedy. I'm going to do all the remedies on my own. Fine and good if you can. But remember that it is not easy to do these chantings, like for 144 days with the correct pronunciation, with the right, proper, sacred way that we're supposed to do it, with all the offerings and things like that. And they can do it for you for 100 rupees a day. I think it's really worth it. To give it to them to do it. And if you want to do it, that's fine and good. But they also need to make a living, right? And like I said, whether they do it or don't do it, that is their karma, and we have to have faith. So having faith is very, very important. I think it's very important to replace the fear with faith. And you can always ask a prashna and ask Shiva and rishis directly, and ask your question, like, I don't have faith in these Nadi readings, or I don't have faith in the pandits doing these pujas, and I cannot afford these pujas. What should I do? Ultimately, I think that you can afford it, and you can give these payments in installments also. You can work with the Nadi Pandits, but there will be a way. You will always find a way to do these remedies. So I think I've covered all the points here. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always leave some comments and I will answer them, or you can contact me yourself and we can have a discussion. I don't have all the answers. I'm only sharing my understanding and it's still evolving, but I'm just trying to help people find solutions and reduce their problems. I don't gain anything from this and I don't make any money from it, but I have seen benefits in my life and I just like to share it with you so that your problems are reduced as well. So I hope that's helpful, and do continue to watch more videos that I put out. So thanks for watching.